So I noticed something. White people have about 3 arguments up their sleeve when we talk about racism. The first one is, Africans sold y'all to slavery. Now, those of us that actually read and look further than the wrong direction that Brad or Becky points us in will know that's not necessarily true. And it's a little more complicated than that. It also had a lot to do with the manipulation of the Europeans on the different tribes in Africa. The next argument is, Jews were oppressed, they're not complaining like y'all. Okay. Firstly, the Jews of Europe are white. They were oppressed by other white people. And wasn't Hitler's mother a Jew? Yeah. The oppression was caused by your own race, with no outside assistance or manipulation of any other races. A German Jew and a German Christian, different belief, different religion, same race. Now the last argument they have is, but white people were slaves too. What about the Irish? The Irish don't complain about slavery all the time. Everyone was enslaved, but only black people still complain about it. Let's get some facts. You cannot compare the transatlantic slave trade to indentured servitude. My brothers and sisters, and white people passing through this pro-black channel ran by this militant light-skinned Afro-Caribbean brother. Y'all about to get this work. Indentured servant definition. A person under contract to work for another person for a definite period of time, usually without pay, but in exchange for free passage to a new country. Now, what does definite period of time mean? Well, it means you have a release date. It is a set time frame. You know when you get your freedom. The Irish were not slaves. They were prisoners. The Irish slave nonsense is a lie and a fallacy created by white supremacy to make them look like victims too. Over 13 million Africans were enslaved and sent to the Caribbean as slaves, versus 30,000 Irish prisoners sent to the Americas by King James II in 1625 to work as punishment for numerous crimes committed. What crimes did the Africans commit? None. They were just too nice and welcoming of Europeans who came under false pretenses. There was a difference between people being enslaved and people who were serving a sentence. This is that all lives matter bullshit. We were all slaves. The Irish slavery is a myth and is not supported by any historical evidence. There might be a random book floating around called White Cargo. It's bullshit. It is not supported by any historical evidence. Thousands of Irish were sent to colonies like Barbados against their will. Upon arrival to the Caribbean, they were socially and legally distinct from the enslaved Africans. Why? Well, firstly, they were white. Yes, the Irish suffered hardship whilst being indentured servants, but they were never, ever slaves. And guess what? The enslaved Africans were stuck in this inhumane system for 400 years. While the Irish prisoners were there for less than 40 years. They were pardoned by Charles II in 1660. The Irish hardship was over and done with. Not only did the Irish get repatriations, but the Irish became famous as the worst and toughest overseers of the enslaved African people. They were accepted due to their harsh mistreatment of the African slaves. They played a huge role in our ancestors' oppression. African chattel slavery has a legacy still relevant today, whilst the Irish benefit from white privilege. White Irish do not suffer from systematic racism. They were never enslaved. They were never slaves. They were criminals serving a sentence. How can you compare 30,000 to 13 million? How can you compare less than 40 years to over 400 years? They want to be victims so bad. Get out of here, man. Knowledge is power. Please, my brothers and sisters, read. Knowledge is infinite. And for those of you that are curious about the truth about did Africans sell their own people into slavery, there's a link in my description that will give you the full rundown, the full details of what really happened. Peace, love, and coconut oil.
Hey man, that's racist. Please remember that from now on, brand new never before seen videos, as well as live streams, will only be available on my website, ikyg.com, via a Patreon subscription. ikyg.com is a Black-owned, Black Rand platform, 100% free from censorship. It's the only place where we don't have to worry about what we say and expressing ourselves. Make sure you check out the description and the comment section for important links, as well as information in video form that shows you what benefits you get when you support the site and join my Patreon. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, then don't forget to subscribe and be notified every time I upload a video. For exclusive content and perks, check out my Patreon. This is where we have private live streams, group chats, live Q&As, live phone calls, and open topics. This is a safe space where you can interact with other like-minded people, make friends, send each other direct private messages, and so much more without any trolls. And yes, you get to use GIFs and images in the live chats. So what are you waiting for? This is a completely independent website, free from censorship. If you'd like to make a donation towards the site so we can continue to put out the truth without fear of being silenced, then please hit that donation button. It's greatly appreciated. Check out the rest of the site for videos, private and public live streams, find out all the tea, and make sure to utilize the Black Money section of the website. Advertise your business absolutely free to people that look like you, free forever. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at angel_IKYG.